What is going on, y'all? Site Perspectives, GeoFux here. And again, Twitter is where it's at, in my opinion. So, one of the larger Twitter accounts made a post basically discussing how there's nothing wrong with you setting boundaries and recognizing I don't have time for this and cutting people off. And then I retweeted it, not retweeted, I left a tweet under the initial post, the initial tweet. And I basically was like, exactly, you know, people want to say that you're holding a grudge when in reality you're holding a boundary. You know, and I couldn't agree more. And then more and more people reacted to what my tweet and was liking it and retweeting it and leaving tweets under, and people started following me because of the tweet that I posted, responding to the main tweet. And it just goes back to everything that I be saying on YouTube. And I'm serious. I'm gonna start posting some of these little thought pieces on my TikTok. But it just kind of goes back to what I be saying. Like, in general, people really think folks are supposed to just continue to put up with garbage, with mistreatment, with lying, with cheating, with manipulation, with financial abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse. People are just supposed to put up with BS and just keep going with it. And people really think you're supposed to just deal with their BS. They never think that eventually you're going to get tired and you're going to move on with your life. They never think that you're going to cut them off. They really think that they're going to be able to continue these games forever. And that's why, you know, in the narcissistic abuse community, what we talk about a lot of times is the final discard is up to you. If you want to keep going back and forth with somebody that has shown you numerous times that they don't care about you, and they definitely don't care about your feelings, because why else would they keep hurting you and they keep doing it over and over again? Obviously, this is intentional, okay? And if it's not intentional, it doesn't even matter because it's toxic. Why do you want to keep getting hurt? You know? So, a lot of people think that you're just supposed to put up with it. And now I kind of want to also tie this back into where you have all of these cisgendered heterosexual men who are, you know, there's all these articles reporting on how they are the ones that are lonely, depressed, you know, don't have, the dating scene is hard for them to navigate. But when you listen to why they're lonely, depressed, and the dating scene is hard to navigate, yeah, it's hard to navigate because you actually have to be likable. You can't be a shitty ass person and think that people are going to want to date you and want to be in any type of relationship with you. Oh wow, looks like I actually have to show empathy and show that I care. I can't just sit up here and play mind games and cheat and lie and take advantage and exploit. Oh wow, I actually have to be personable. And that's basically what it is. Now, that's my opinion on that. But tying it back to the tweet, again, nobody has to put up with your bullshit. That's the tweet. And you can't get upset that people set up boundaries. A lot of folks want to say you holding a grudge because you're not talking to somebody, or you've blocked them on social media, or you deleted them off of social media. You can call it a grudge. I'm calling it a boundary. I don't have to talk to you. I don't have to engage with you. You are not entitled to my life, and I am not entitled to yours. So again, it's just kind of controlling in itself when the people want to say you're holding a grudge because you're not going back and forth with them. You've already seen how this person acts, how this person thinks, the ish that they do and say. You've already played me like a fiddle. You've already played me like a game of Tekken. You've already played me like a game of Madden. You've been doing Call of Duty Team Deathmatch all over my heart, all over my feelings. So why should I allow you back in my life? Been there, done that. Now, I can already see people saying, well, people change. This is very true. People can change. But very rarely does that actually happen. Let's just keep it real. In my opinion, very rarely have I ever seen in my lived experience somebody actually change and make things correct through their behaviors and actions. Most of the time, people, in my experience, will apologize and then go right back to the same toxic, dysfunctional shit after they apologize. And you might have a slight honeymoon phase, you know, or in the narcissistic abuse phase. You might have a slight love bombing phase, but sooner or later, they're going to go right back to treating you like shit or doing things that you don't approve of, that agitate you, that bother you, that hurt you. Okay? And that's, at least in my lived experience, that's what I've seen. Whether that's through family, friends, colleagues, people that I had crushes on, people that I thought I was building a relationship or bond with. So for me, I've learned my lesson, and I'm not interested in having a repeat of the same shit. I mean, some of you will literally go through hell back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then wonder why you keep getting hurt. You know, after a while, you have to be willing to make those changes for yourself, because you're going to continue to deal with the same BS if you do not. You know what I mean? You're going to deal with the same BS if you do not, in my opinion, in lived experience. So it's holding a grudge. It's having some self-respect for yourself. Another thing that I want to address, this whole, well, you got to be the bigger person. To me, again, a lot of these cliche sayings, a lot of these so-called advice and suggestions, in my opinion, is people-pleasing to the max. And it's also setting you up to be abused and taken advantage of, because basically what you're saying is, don't have any boundaries and keep allowing people to play you. As far as I'm concerned, because all of this, you need to be the bigger person mess, a lot of times basically means you're supposed to look past the bullshit that people are doing. You're supposed to, you know, not hold anybody accountable, let people trample all over you, or act like everything is okay when it's not. No, I'm just not doing that. I did that for 26 years, basically, and wasn't a good time. Wasn't a good time at all. Got used, got played, got hurt really bad numerous times, over and over and over again. So as I hit into my mid to late 20s and started the self-care journey that I've been on for the past 4 years, I had to make changes for self, because it was just getting out of control. Like, I was reliving the same lessons, and it's like, okay, obviously this isn't working. You need to make some changes. So that's what I did. And now, the minute I give people, and don't get me wrong, I do give people a little opportunity, because again, I can't judge you off rip. I can see some potential. Okay, that's a yellow flag. You might want to just be because nowadays, I'm gonna be honest, and this call me holding a grudge, call me bitter, call me pessimistic, call me negative, call me whatever. You know, it is what it is. I go by he, him, though. Let's just be real. But I know who I am. But anyways, I've had, like, first of all, in my opinion, you're guilty until proven innocent. Because that's another thing. All that giving people the benefit of the doubt shit is another reason why you're getting hurt, in my lived experience and in my opinion. Because again, you don't know people, and yet you don't know a person at all. You just met this person, and you're giving them all of this trust, access. No, you gotta work towards getting towards that access and trust with me. I've had to learn that too many times. And don't get me wrong, I still make mistakes. I still have a long way to go, but I am making better strides every day. And now, this year alone, I cut off so many people again, because I was just seeing things for myself like, this isn't a reciprocal, mutual, respectful relationship at all. Whether it's with so-called friends that are fake as hell, that are narcissistic, that don't really have your best interests, whether that's with family members, whether that's with people that you grew up with, whether that's with your significant others. whatever the relationship style is, you really have to start paying attention to how people treat you and what people say to you and what people do to you. Okay? And it is what it is. So, yeah, Twitter is where it's at, in my opinion. I like that place. When I can get on there and retweet or, you know, drop some of my thoughts real quick, I like being on there for that aspect. But yeah, we're not, in my opinion, we're not holding grudges. We are holding boundaries. And again, you done fooled me once, twice, 3 times, 3 strikes you're out. Why should we keep going down the road? Why should we keep putting ourselves in harm's way? Like, so, and then bringing it back to cisgendered heterosexual men having a hard time in the dating scene, I just think it's kind of, again, it's projection, right? Because you got the Kevin Samuels, you've got the Andrew Tates, you got all of these misogynistic men who go around sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic. Like I said, if they're sexist and misogynistic, 9 times out of 10, they're homophobic and transphobic. 9 times out of 10, they're classist, they're ableist, they're racist. They have a lot of closed-minded things about them. But it's ironic because it's projection at its finest, because again, they're the ones, the cishet men who are part of the manosphere, and I took the red pill or the blue pill and MGTOW, and in reality, women are the ones going their own way. People who typically deal with cisgendered men or cishet men are the ones going their own way. You know, and it's just projection at its finest, because you're the one that's dying alone and single. You're the one having struggles trying to date. Because guess what? People don't want to date assholes. People don't want to date pathological liars. People don't want to date misogynistic pigs. Oh, wow. You know, and now people are, you know, so this group, the most privileged group out of everybody, the cishet male, is now realizing, oh, damn, I can't use people anymore. I can't abuse folks the way we previously could. You know, people are actually setting up boundaries and realizing that, you know what, I don't have to deal with his ass. So I just think a lot of people are going to have to really dig deep and realize that you're going to have to bring more to the table than, you know, BS and looks. Like, people want more out of these relationships. People are tired of being connected to abusers, and just going through dysfunctional, traumatic ass, downright sadistic, toxic relationships. People are tired of it. You know, people actually want, if they're going to be in a relationship or have a significant other or partners, my golly gee wow, you actually want to have a healthy relationship. You actually want someone that actually cares about you and your well-being. Wow, what a concept. So you can't really blame people. And then two, a lot of people are realizing, and I'm going to do a video on this separate, but a lot of people are also realizing that marriages really only benefit cishet men. They don't really benefit anybody else like that. And then I'm going to even go further. When you look at marriages, if you're dealing with a cis male, the likelihood of that being a potential toxic, dysfunctional relationship goes up. It is what it is. So people are realizing, and particularly women, are realizing you tend to have a longer life expectancy when you're not attached to toxic people. Oh, wow. You know, and then two, they're realizing, okay, when they get married, they're the ones that have to work and be a full-time mom. And, you know, sacrifice. Meanwhile, the cishet male or the cis male doesn't really do that collectively. And a lot of people are saying, you know what? I can go without this. I'm just gonna not. And you can't really blame people for realizing they deserve better. They want to actually have mutual reciprocal relationships that are healthy and not all one-sided, and you're being treated like shit and cheated on and lied to, and nobody wants to deal with that, and you can't get mad. And same thing with friendships. It's the same thing. People want genuine friendships, people who actually care about them, not folks that just want to gossip and talk shit about everybody 24/7. Not people that just want to sit up here and basically have this secret animosity because they're jealous of you, but all that weird shit. People are tired of it. And more people are setting boundaries. More and more people are recognizing red flags and understanding what narcissistic abuse is and what toxic relationships are and what they...
In a quarter mile, sharp right onto West Square Lake Road.
All right, I'm out.